when it comes to fitness, when it comes to aesthetics, when it comes to building your dream body, I don't trust fitness YouTubers. What the fuck are you doing, bro? Anyways, I don't trust fitness YouTubers. And in this video, I'll be talking to you about why I don't trust fitness YouTubers and why you shouldn't either. To me, fitness YouTubers are a scam. A total and undeniable scam. Now, what I mean by this is, well, you must be thinking like, wait, but how? They look so good. They look sexy, they look aesthetic, and all that shit. Oh fuck. Anyways, they look their best, they look so good, they look happy, they look well. And they never tell you though about how they feel. It's only about how they look, right? They look good. They don't talk about how they feel. Yeah. Fuck. Wait, I'm coming down. Yeah, it's only about how they feel. Genuinely, they don't. Why do you think these fitness YouTubers do those 10,000 calorie challenges? Even though it's not advised from any trainer to eat more than 4 to 5,000 calories a day. Why are they doing 10,000 calorie challenges? Well, I'll explain that to you in this video, and I'll explain to you why I don't trust fitness YouTubers and why you shouldn't either. Now, when I say fitness YouTubers, let me be clear. I'm not talking about someone who uses scientific research about what exercises are good for the biceps, in terms like science, the studies have done. I'm not talking about, like, for example, Jeff Nippard. I'm not talking about Jeff Nippard. Jeff Nippard is trusted and he's a worthy source, but I don't recommend following his diet. But if you want exercises, you can go Jeff Nippard. Easy. Now, I want to break this down into 3 parts: health, mental health, which includes hormones and mental health and all that, and how they fuck you up really bad. Then we have sugar. Then we have what you can actually do. Okay, let's get into it. Now, we've all heard the fact that if it fits your macros, it's not about macros anymore. If you take a second to realize, if you take a second to understand, just research, do the smallest research on any fucking topic I'm gonna talk about today, you'll realize it's not about if it fits your fucking macros. Let's get into how, if it fits your macros mindset, can fuck up your mental health and your health, just the physical health. First of all, hormones. What can they do to our hormones? Fuck up. Why? Sugar. This is more about in second part, but sugar, like, I'll give you an example. Highly processed and sugar foods, I've talked about this, they fuck up your testosterone, and testosterone literally is the main hormone for muscle building. I don't know why you'd want to fuck that up. So I've already covered multiple ways, I think of 3 different ways you can help your testosterone in my previous videos, but I give you a good thing right now. Cut soy and flax seeds out of your diet if you eat them. Shit like tofu, whey protein. Actually, if it does sound that whey protein is good, but it has soy lecithin. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it has soy or sunflower lecithin, which both enhance or tell your body to produce more progesterone and estrogen. Whatever the fuck it's called, man. progesterone, I think it is called, and estrogen, which are both hormones you don't need for muscle building at all, and they fuck up your hormonal levels really bad. And then whey protein, if you want, I take whey protein which is unflavored, because that has just whey protein, no emulsifiers, no nothing, no sucralose, no maltodextrin, nothing. And thirdly, we have eat 3 to 4 eggs every day. This will give you the perfect amount of cholesterol, because cholesterol is the precursor of testosterone and estrogen. So it'll give you cholesterol, the perfect amount of cholesterol for your testosterone needs. Also eat fats like that come from nuts, avocados, eggs. I just said eggs, right? Eggs. Use butter and ghee. Okay, now that's all I'm gonna say about helping your hormonal levels and testosterone levels. But let's get into the other crisis. Let's get into the other hormonal crisis. When we get too fat, viscerally, from the sugars, high processed foods, and whatnot, there is a fuck up in our hormones. So we have insulin. Insulin is a hormone that is there for secreting sugar taken, right? So whenever we get sweet on our tongue, our body's like, insulin tells our brain to release the sugar. That's basically how it works, like the sugar absorbing thingy, and that. But when we become more resistant to insulin, meaning we eat more like processed foods, like burgers, and we eat chocolates, and we eat a lot of high glycemic foods. High glycemic foods are those that are quickly digestible because of their high sugar quantity. A lot of them are white bread, fried potatoes. If you want to eat potatoes, eat boiled. We have white bread, potatoes, some other shit, and some dry fruits too. They are pretty high on the glycemic index. We should try and avoid them. Now, whenever we get an insulin load, or we keep on, like, whenever we break our insulin barriers due to the amount of sugar we eat, it fries them. We become more resistant to it. It's like how muscle building works. When you like curl 7.5s for the first time, after that you're able to curl it like easily, right? So same thing here. When you eat a certain amount of sugar, your body becomes resistant to insulin. And when you eat sugar quantities less than that, once you become so resistant, and once you keep on doing those activities of eating sugar and high processed foods and burgers, pizza and all that fucking bullshit that's there, you realize that, not you won't realize because it's fucking impossible to realize, the 100 grams of sugar you used to take every day, and now you're going back to 20 to 30 grams. If you imagine that, if you want to do that, you will not feel full. Why? Because your insulin is blocking the hormone that's responsible for telling your brain that you are full, you are satiated. It blocks it completely because of your high resistance of insulin, and there is just more food wanting. And this is mainly caused by high fructose. Now, we've heard of glucose, we've heard of sucrose, we have, these are all sugars, and then we have fructose. So these are the three main sugars: fructose, sucrose, and glucose. Glucose is the essential sugar in our body. It is what we use for energy, because glucose breaks down into pyruvate in each cell, and that is used for ATP production. But when we take sucrose or table sugar, so table sugar is a mix of sucrose and fructose. So let's talk about sucrose. Sucrose is basically cane sugar and table sugar. So when you take sucrose, it doesn't really help much. It's the same. It just it makes your insulin worse. It resisting. So that's what you call added sugar. That's what's added into your protein bars sometimes, into your fruit juices, into your Coca-Cola. If you're not eating diet Coca-Cola, don't do that if you're stupid enough. Anyways, I used to drink a lot. And then we have fructose. Fructose is the worst sugar. It is the absolute worst sugar. Now, before I clear this up, I do believe there is fructose in natural, like fructose is a natural sugar occurring in fruits, right? Like cherries, watermelon, all those. There's fructose in that. But that amount of fructose, if you eat in right amounts, is not a lot, so it wouldn't harm you in a way that is detrimental. Now, why are we talking about sugars? Because this, like, having, so I like to differ between two types of fats. I'm doing this without a script. That's why this video is so here and there. But you'll understand the knowledge, right? This is, so have there, like, okay, so fructose basically what it does, when you consume fructose, it blocks your insulin in, like your it blocks the hormone that tells your brain that you're full. Fructose, like a lot of fructose a day, and it will also produce fat around your organs. Now, you may be asking, well, what the fuck was I gonna say? Wait. Yeah, so fructose does indeed, it blocks your the hormone that tells your brain that you're full, causing it to eat more. And why do you think this like, why do you think I'm talking about this genuinely? Because in this time it's so prevalent that even thin people have metabolic issues like diabetes and all that. Now this isn't because, now like, we all have associated obesity with diabetes, metabolic issues, heart disease, fatty liver, all that. But it's not that. Thin people can be metabolically worse, actually. And if you take into consideration of how much percentage of fat people have metabolic issues, and compare it to like the total amount of fat people, and you take, like, I don't remember the exact, but I believe it's like close to 20% of fat people who have metabolic, no, more than 20%. It's like 40% or something. But the amount of non-fat people, the thin people, they're more, like, in terms, like, imagine this is the fat people and this is like the thin people, in, right? So the amount of people, this is the fat people, this is how many fat people are. So the amount of people who have metabolic issues are here. But in thin people, if this is thin people, the amount of people who have metabolic issues are here, if you can understand what I mean. So what I'm trying to say is, even thin people have these issues, and they're worse than obese people. Why do you think this is? Yes, fructose. And all of these thin people who have metabolic issues are your fitness influences. Why the fuck do you think they have 10,000 calorie bulking challenges every now and then? Because they themselves cannot control their brain, their hormones, the hormone of what tells their brain that they're satiated is fucked. They keep on eating insulin, sugar, 100 grams of sugars a day, every day. The average consumption of added sugar is 77 grams a day, per day. I don't eat that in a fucking 77 days, bro. Okay, that's a bit. 30 days. I don't eat that much in 30 days. That's so much sugar. Now, High fructose corn syrup is the main culprit of all of this. Why? Because again, it's just concentrated fructose and it's everywhere. It's in the Cokes, it's in the Monsters, it's in the Red Bulls, it's in everything we drink. Right? And what happens when we consume fructose? So fructose, I told you already, it goes. So let's take glucose actually. So what happens in glucose is that 20% goes to become liver fat and all that, while 80% of it goes to pyruvate and energy and ATP production. Right? So that 20% can be managed by the liver. But in fructose, 100% goes to the liver. None of it goes to your ATP production because we don't need it. Right, our body just don't need it, and it's everywhere. We say fructose is everywhere, right? And what this does is that it causes visceral fat. Now I'd like to differ between the two fats. We have subcutaneous fat, which is basically belly fat, body fat. But then we have the more dangerous fat, visceral fat. Visceral fat is the fat that is there when you eat fructose, when you drink alcohol, when you get those metabolic diseases. Those are the fats that cover your organs. And this is killing people. So I want to bring up the criteria, or no, not the criteria. What the fuck am I saying? I wanted to bring up the fact that when you check your criteria of what you're eating, just know that not all macros, not all calories are the same. It's not. When you take, say for example, you have 300 calorie sandwich here, and you have 300 calorie salad bowl, and you have 300 calories left. When you take the sandwich, the extra sugars in there, the extra fructose in there, the extra processed foods, all of that will go to your visceral fat. All of it will go to visceral fat and make you more unhealthy. But when you take that, you will not only not gain liver fat, like liver fat and organ fat, it'll help you lose more fat. It'll make your metabolism better. So I want to bring up the idea, the thought that not all calories are the same. And they shouldn't be thought of in that way. Because 200 calories of fructose compared to 200 calories of potatoes, like fructose in terms of, like if you take 200 calories of Coke and 200 calories of some potatoes, you should, like when you take those fructose, it will 100%, it won't help you anyways. Those calories will go in, turn into visceral fat and harm you. While the potatoes, they become glucose, they give you more energy for your workout tomorrow. And I really don't understand what we're thinking, eating whatever the fuck we can, when we should be eating normal foods that our ancestors have been eating to standardize, then optimize hormones, mental health. Wait, I didn't really talk about mental health, right? Okay, I'll talk about mental health. So, hormones, mental health, and sugar. And now let's get back to the mental health. I completely forgot about it. Hormones, mental health, and just like being healthy. Okay, so mental health, it ruins your mental health because when your insulin resistors are they're super high, they're very resistant, the insulin receptors are super resistant, and you don't get that into your brain. You'll constantly binge eat, and you will not see progress. And that binge eating and not getting progress will fuck up your mental health to a degree unimaginable. Trust me, this has happened with me. And this is why this is exactly why we eat comfort foods, because of binge eating, because of not, like when we're stressed, when we're stressed and we binge eat, it fucks up our mental health even more. When we're stressed and we eat well, we eat enough, it will improve our mental health. And that's all I want to talk about mental health. That's all I want to talk about for this video. And I know it's very like a skeptic video, and like it's a very all over the place video, but it just popped into my head and I really felt like I needed to make a video about it. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys. Where the fuck is watching? No one watches these videos. Anyways, mwah, bye.